Meanwhile, in Boston, the C's are also shorthanded tonight against Washington. Jaylen Brown remains out in the concussion protocol after that frightening fall last week in Minnesota. Al Horford will miss the second straight game with illness. Kyrie Irving remains out to rest a sore left knee. Marcus Smart could be out for the season with a right thumb injury. We just don't know yet. Now, reserve forward Daniel Tice is likely done for the season for surgery on his torn meniscus. For more clarity on the Celtics situation, let's welcome Sherrod Blakely, who covers the C's for NBC Sports Boston. Sherrod, let's start with Marcus Smart. He has a torn tendon in his right thumb. What are his options medically, and when will we know if he'll be back?
Well, that's one of the things that they're exploring now. I just reported a few minutes ago that he's going to meet with a specialist in New York City tomorrow, and he'll have a better sense of where he's at and what all his options are. But certainly, at this point, it doesn't look good for Marcus Smart. But again, this is a guy that we've seen time and time again here in Boston just really elevate himself and just put his body through just the ringer, showing an ability to play with pain that I think very few players in the league are capable of doing. But this is a little bit different. I mean, we're talking about the hand that he uses to control the ball, and he's a point guard. So the ball has to be in his hand a significant amount of time. Marcus, again, he's looking at all his options right now, but certainly, the Celtics, I think they are bracing themselves for the worst while hoping for the best.
Their net rating this season is nearly 5 points better with Marcus Smart on the floor than it is off the floor. Kyrie Irving is resting his sore right knee. Danny Ainge said last week Kyrie might have to manage the knee issues for the rest of his career. What is the plan in the short term, and is there any reason to think he could have to miss time in the playoffs?
Well, I think that's what they're trying to alleviate as best they can, to make sure that he is as healthy as possible going into the playoffs so that he can be at peak performance once the postseason begins. But, remember, just a couple years ago, this guy had a fractured left kneecap, and whenever you have a significant injury, particularly when you're talking about the wheels, the feet, the ankle, the knees, those parts of the body, there is the potential where you're going to have a certain level of maintenance for the rest of your career. And I think Kyrie, I don't think it's something that's going to limit his effect. But I think the one thing you have to remember is he's 25 years old. And the Celtics, the way they're built, he doesn't have to play 35, 40 minutes a night for them to be a successful team. So they're capable of limiting his minutes to the low 30s, him being able to be impactful, be efficient, and they're still able to be successful.
In terms of trying to maybe force people into the lineup here down the stretch, how content are the C's with the 2 seed if not chasing the 1 allows them to sit guys more often?
They don't have much choice. I don't think Toronto is showing any signs of budging from that top spot, and I think the Celtics have put too much distance between them and the rest of the field in order to fall out of that number 2 spot. So I think they're going to be, in all likelihood, they're going to be the number 2 seed, and that's frankly the way this season has gone for them. All the things they've had to overcome. If you'd have told me or anyone else at the beginning of the season that they would lose, Gordon Hayward 5 minutes to the season and have all the different injuries that they've had throughout the season and still wind up with the number 2 seed in the East with a little bit of a cushion, I think most of us would take that bet in a heartbeat. They find a way to get it done. Again, no rhyme or reason. I give Brad Stevens a lot of credit, the confidence that he instills in his players to go out there, regardless of whether they play 5 minutes or 25 minutes, to be impactful in the moments that they get on the floor. That's been a big part of this team, finding a way to win games and be competitive when, on paper at least, they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, with the roster turnover and their defense, it's been a remarkable story in Boston for certain. Sherrod Blakely with us from NBC Sports Boston with the latest on the C's. Appreciate it.